So today we are going to discuss about password cracking. Okay. Now password cracking is what? It's a technique that is used to recover the password of the computer system, or attacker use this password cracking technique to gain or to get unauthorized access to the vulnerable system. Okay. Now most of this password cracking technique are successful because why? People are using easy and guessable password. Okay. Now there are different types of a password attack. Okay. So we have non-electronic attack. Okay. Then we have active online attack. Then we have passive online attack. And the last we have offline attack. Okay. Now, non-electronic attack is what? The attacker, what he will be doing, he generally he don't does not need any technical knowledge to crack the password. Okay, so that is your non-technical attack. The very common type of an attack you can say is your shoulder surfing or social engineering attack, or to perform a dumpster diving. Okay, so diving into the dump and collecting the information. If there is any password has been thrown, get that information, or someone is typing the password, just pick it out from behind. Okay, so that will be a non-electronic password where you don't require any technical knowledge. Then we have active online attack. Active online attack are what? The password cracking technique, the dictionary directly communicating with the victim system. Okay, like your brute force attack, injection attack. Okay, password guessing or password spraying attack, Trojan attack, spyware attack. These are what? These are your active online attack. Attacker, what he is doing? Is performing a password crack, directly communicating with that device. Okay. Then we have passive online attack. Now passive online attack is what? What attacker will be doing? He will be again performing the password cracking attack, but without communicating, like a man in the middle attack. Okay. Over here, attacker is not communicating with that device. He is simply sitting into that network and try to monitor what has been going on. Wire sniffing attack, replay attack. These are what? These are your passive online attack without communicating with that device. Just simply try to perform the attack. Then we have offline attack. Offline attack is what? Physical attack, rainbow table attack. Okay. So these are what? These are your different types of an attack. So you guys are aware by default in our Linux directory or in our Kali Linux system, we have an dictionary as well, password cracking dictionary. Okay, and that dictionary is known as your rocku.txt. Just simply search for, just type locate rocku.txt, you will find a dictionary and in that dictionary you will be getting n number of an password, more than in crores. Let me show you that as well. There are millions of passwords have been stored, and those password will be your well-known password. Okay, so similarly we have rainbow table as well to perform an online attack. Okay, so what we can do, it's a rainbow table will be having a database, so we can just copy that LM hash, paste it over there, and it will try to convert that hash into a plain text format. There you go. Fast LM hash online cracking engine. So insert an hash only often 16 or 32 character long. Okay, so it's an character specific. If that password is more than 32 character, it won't be able to perform an attack. Okay, so in this rainbow table, we are getting a set of a database. Again, our limitations are getting over here. Okay, if that password is there inside the database, then only he will try to convert that hash into a plain text format. If not, you won't be getting your result. Okay, so it's taking time for me to load this particular page. So onto the left hand side, you will see you will be seeing that what are the latest 10 or 20 password has been cracked. Details of that. Down the line, you will be getting the details of your database. How many password have been cracked? How many password are in process to crack? Okay. Total number of the password in the database. All those details will be here. You can see 20 new hash has been cracked. So these are the latest one, database status, cracked password in total. Then we have uncracked password. These are the these are the total numbers which are not cracked. Average time required to crack the password. Lowest time required to crack the password. Total number of the database checks. Here you go. Total number of successful hits. Here you go. Okay. So similarly, we have some tools as well. Very famous tool to perform this attack. If I want to perform a brute force attack or a dictionary attack, so I will be using an Hydra at that place. Okay. Now again, conditions to use this Hydra, that you should be having a set of ID and password. So he will try to match that ID and password in that particular port or in that particular services to give you the correct answer. Okay. So we can use some tools as well. Here are the details of it. 20 latest cracked password and the database details. And still showing me the result of the password. Okay. Now, next topic we are going to discuss about is your web application. Okay. Now, before the web application, let's discuss about the status code. Okay. Now, when we use the browser during that time, many a time you guys have noticed that if you are trying to visit some of the website, you are getting some error, isn't it? That link cannot be reached, request cannot be made, action cannot be performed, such kind of a thing. 404 not found, 201 unsuccess, some 301 redirectional. The link has been changed, the link has been moved, isn't it? 500 internal server error. Now what are this? 404, 201, 302, 305. What are these things? Okay. So we have set of it. Different status code. Now the status starts with 100. It's known as your informational. Okay. It starts with an 100. It means the action is, or you can say the request has been received and it has been in process, in continuation. For example, if you get a status code 100, that means continue only. This part of the request has been received by the server. Okay, as long as it has not been rejected, the client will have the access. Okay, the request is between client and the server. If you are getting a status code of starts with 200, 201, 202, 203, anything. So that means successfully received, understood, and accepted. Okay, 201 means okay status. The action was successfully received and been understood and been accepted. Whenever we are sending this party request to the server, if server understand and accept that request, so what we are getting? We are getting is a page, the login page or the home page. So at the back end, the status code which has been used, that is starts with an 201 or 200. Then we have the status code starts with 300, which is known as your redirectional. Okay, it means further action must be taken in order to complete the request. Generally, when you see this, when you visit the website, okay, and you are getting a request that the website has been moved, or you moved some of the website, the link has been changed. During that time, what you will be getting? You will be getting some such kind of an error. 301, the request page has been moved temporarily. Okay, or to navigate this particular page, click on this link, click on this new URL. Okay, so the status code starts with 300. Then we have the status code which starts with 400, which is known as your client error. Okay, what does that mean? The request is incorrect or the syntax is incorrect, which cannot be fulfilled. Okay, let's suppose after this training, if you try to visit the web page where you have filled the form or where you have seen this ad about the cybersecurity orientation program, okay, you won't be getting that, you won't be able to open that particular page. Why? Because the page has been expired. Nothing will come on that page. So what request or what you will be seeing or what you or what has been displayed onto the screen? 404, page not found. Or if you are an unauthorized user, if you want to access some website unauthorizedly, you will be getting a request 401. Okay, need username and password. Error has been coming from an client side. Okay, then we have the request starts with 500. Error is coming from an server side. Okay, 500 internal server error. The request has not been completed because why? The server met an unexpected condition. Okay, so during that time you will be getting such kind of an error. Okay, now let's talk about the web application part. Okay, now what is a web application? Or whenever we talk about a web application, the first thing which comes into your mind is your client service model. Okay, over here in client service model, what is happening? The user like us, what we generally do, let's say if I want to visit any website, any social media website. Let's say Twitter. Okay, so first what I will be doing, opening a browser, writing the name. Okay, www.twitter.com, the URL has been given, hit enter, and we are getting a login page. Okay, after that what we generally do, we give an ID and password, and then we are inside that particular application. Okay, now what is happening at the back end? When user make a request, that request has been sent inside the web server, and inside the web server what do we have? We have an application and a database. Okay, what request has been made? Request has been made for twitter.com. In response to that, what that web server will be giving? Web server will be giving you an home login page. Okay, now user will going to give an input over there. He is going to provide the credentials, login ID and password. Now again the request has been sent inside the web server. Web server will see what request has been made, and then the request from an application is been moved to a database. Inside the database, the verification part has been done. Whether that user who has provided ID and password is a legitimate user or not. If this username and password has been stored inside our database or not. If yes, respond it back, you will get your home page. If not, incorrect password, incorrect username and password. Okay, so this whole process is known as your client server model. Okay, now web application. Uh, when we talk about web application, there is one framework, or you can say a open framework, who has been taking care of this web application, about all the top 10 attacks, all about all the most vulnerable, about all this vulnerability of a web application. Okay, which is very commonly known as your OWASP. Okay, now in the year 2003, uh, the web application was been created and made out public. Now what happened during that time? There were many attacks has been done onto the web application. Okay, now when everyone started attacking onto the web application, OWASP, they had done, they started categorizing all this attack. Okay, and came up with the top 10 attack list. Now every 3 years they are maintaining the list. The first list was been published in the year 2006, 2003. Then it has been updated in the year 2006. During this time, multiple attacks were happened. Again, the list has been updated in 2007. Then the new list has been published in the year 2010. Then the new list has been published in the year 2013. Again, this has been updated in the year 2017. And as of now, we are using the latest one, 2021 list. Okay. Now, this question is very common as well, and mostly asked question into your interviews as well. Okay. So what are the top 10 list of OAS which we have been using as of now, which has been used into previously? Okay, so these are the certain questions which have been asked. Okay, now let me show you what are the top 10 list first. Okay, now this is the top 10 list as per your 2013 and 2017, 2021. Okay, Now, before to that, let's see what are the most common attacks who have been published previously. Okay. Now, in 2013, the very common attack on the first level which has been setting is your injection. Then A2 at the second level is your broken authentication and session management. At third, there is an cross-site scripting. At fourth, insecure direct object reference. Then we have security misconfiguration, sensitive data exposure, missing function level access control, cross-site script request forgery. Then we have user component with known vulnerability. Then we have unvalidated, redirectional, and forward. These are the list as per year 2013. Now this list has been updated in the year 2017. Okay, there are some new attacks has been introduced and some of the attacks have been merged. So again, at number one, injection has been setting, broken authentication. At third, sensitive data exposure. Okay, sensitive data exposure has been moved at third position. Then we have internal XML, external entities. Now, insecure direct object reference and missing function level access control, both these attacks have been merged, and we are getting an broken access control. Okay, this both have been merged and combined as in broken access control. Then the security misconfiguration, cross-site request forgery. Okay, again a new introduction is there, new added attack is with there. Insecure deserialization, using component and no known vulnerability. Again a new addition. Insufficient logging and monitoring. Okay, so these are what? These are your top 10 attack as of 2017 list. Okay, now we are using the latest one, 2021 list. And in 2021 list, at the top, what we are having? Broken access control. Then we have cryptographic failure, which has been renamed from an sensitive data exposure. Okay, then injection attack. At third, there is again a new addition, insecure design, security moves configuration. Okay, along with this, XML external entity has been merged with security based configuration. Then we have vulnerable and outdated component. Okay, identification and authenticate failure, a new addition, software and data integrity, security login and monitoring. Again, a new addition, server side request forgery. So these are the list of in 2021. Okay. Now, why this attack has been happening? What is the reason behind this attack? Let's understand this first. Okay, then we will look into particular at some of the attacks as well. Okay, now why this broken access control has been having? When we are getting an access, a privileged access to a restricted area, that is what your broken access control is, broken access method is. Okay, generally attacker, what he will be doing, he will try to get the access of the database. Okay, so let's check whether this particular website access control, can we get the access control of this website? If yes, let's try it from there. Let's try to get inside the database. Once the attacker is inside the database, what he will be doing? He will try to create, he will try to access, or he will try to update or delete any kind of an record. Okay, attacker act as an user or act as an administrator. He will try to get an admin account. A privilege escalation has been done. Okay, so attacker identified the flaw in the access control. He bypassed that flaw with the help of an authentication and compromised the network. That is your broken access control. Okay, then we have cryptographic failure or sensitive data exposure. Why this has been happening nowadays? Many of website you will be getting. where your details are not been protected, your sensitive information is not been protected. Okay, your sensitive data has been exposed. Okay, and why this has been happening? Because that application is not using a good encryption. Okay, so not giving a good encryption as in. So what generally happen whenever the code has been written, that code is vulnerable. Okay, the information which you are providing over an internet, over that website, is going into a plain text format. It's not getting converted into an secured one. Okay, due to which anyone can get that information which has been running onto a network. That's the reason. If you try to find out the resources or the details, easily you can fetch all the details. You can get n number of card details, live card details, credit card, debit card details. How you can get this? Because someone has visited the website which is not secured and given his certain details of his card. That details have been captured and is been published by the hacker. Always make sure whenever you're visiting the website, that website is secured. First thing. Second thing, don't give your personal information in such kind of a website. If until and unless you trust that website. Okay. If they are asking for an you can say email ID. Okay. If you think so that this registering into this website will not going to get any useful information or a personal gain. Okay, so at that point of time what you can do, you can simply go with a 10 minutes email, a temporary email id, provide that email id. Then we have injection flaws. So injection flaws has been, so that web application has been vulnerable to untrusted data. Okay, so attacker, what they are going to do, they are going to exploit this injection flaw by constructing some of the malicious command in order to get the get the access of the database. Okay, so attacker, what they are doing, they are trying to perform the attack at the back end, at the server end. Okay, so this attack has been done onto the database, such as your SQL injection, command injection, LDAP injection. Apart from this, your XSS is also been connected with this, introduced inside this injection attack. Okay, so XSS is not the attack which has been done onto the database. This is attack has been done onto the client side, but it has been merged with this injection attack. Okay, now next we have is your insecure design. Now insecure design is what? Okay, there is a flaw arise into the design of the application. Okay, the application is not been all that particular you can say the security control is not been properly implemented. Okay, now when we make a request, let's say if I want to access any particular application, so how the request will be going, request will be going inside the application. After that, the request will be forwarded to the API, then to the database to access the details, to access that application, to access the account. Okay, first it is getting checked whether that user has been sitting into the database or not. If yet, he can have an access to this application. This is the process. Okay, now attacker, what he is going to do, he is going to see whether that API is properly configured or not. If not, attacker is going to attach a malicious code in that API straight away. So whatever request has been made inside the application, request is forwarded to the API, then the request has been forwarded to the database. Where the details have been coming from in database, that malicious code will get attached. Okay, malicious this code forwarded to the application and then to the user device. Attackers is straight away having and control to the application and to the user device, and from there he can get inside the database. This is what, this is a flaw in the design and taking an advantage of that flaw. Okay, then we have is your security misconfiguration. Now over here what is happening, we are exploiting misconfigured vulnerabilities such as your unvalidated input. Okay, attacker, what they are going to do, they are going to gain an unauthorized access to the default account. Okay, and when this security configuration is with misconfiguration has been occurred at any level of an application, including the platform, including the web service, including the application service framework. Okay, so very commonly attack is your XML, XCE entity. Okay. Then we have vulnerable and outdated component, using component or with the known vulnerabilities, you can say. Okay. Now most of the application are using this component, the libraries, the framework. Okay. An attacker, what they are going to do? They are going to identify the weakness. How they have been identifying the weakness? By scanning, by performing a manual analysis. Okay. Not only that, attacker will try to search is there any vulnerability or exploit available over a database, over a website. If I'm using and services, okay, attacker what he is going to do, he is going to check what version of the service has been used. And for this version, is there any already vulnerability listed? If yes, your device is already vulnerable one. You are still using that version. You haven't uploaded that application or operating system. Let's take an advantage of it. Okay, and now from where I can get all this information about the known vulnerabilities or listed vulnerabilities? OWASP is taking care of it. Not only that, organization nowadays they will try to search. If let's say if I'm using some services, so I will be searching inside the Shodan for this service. Is there any vulnerability listed out in the market? So let's take an help of in Shodan. In Shodal, all these details will be published. Not only that, we have a set of a database available, web application. Any pre-listed vulnerabilities or exploit available, you can straight away get that exploit. Not only of a website, of an application as well. Similarly goes with your mobile application as well. Similarly goes with your, you can say, the cloud hosted parties as well. So we have a pen test for cloud pen test as well. We have a pen test for mobile application as well. Okay, we have a pen test for web application as well. Okay, that's the reason it is known as a web application pen test, mobile application pen test.
Yeah.
Operating system pen test is been taken care by the owner of that operating system. Apart from that, no one can perform the pen test. We cannot do an pen test for Windows operating system. We cannot do an pen test for an Android operating system. No,
Mhm.
it has been done by the owner, that by the creator of that particular application, of that
Mhm.
operating system. We are doing the testing of the application, which is leading to take an advantage or to take a control to that device. If there is a vulnerability in the application, straight away attacker can have an access to the device, isn't it? Okay. And there are list of vulnerabilities, types of and different types of an attack. So here it is your different types of and different ways to get inside that application. These are the most common one, top 10 listed one. If I'm using an Android mobile phone and my device is 3 years old, now Android, what he has been saying, that we are going to send you whatever company mobile phone you are using, but that is an Android phone. So what they have been saying, we will be providing a security patch or an update only till 2 years. After that, we are not going to maintain this. We are not going to send you a regular update. Okay, if there is any vulnerability listed, high possibilities your device is also been vulnerable. If you are using 3 to 4 year old device, until unless you are using a good security, you are storing all the you are checking into all the app website as well. You are not visiting such kind of a website. You are using a good credit, good password strength over there. So that is in your hand. You are adding a control. What to be visited, what not to be visited. Then we have identification and authentication failure, or we also call it as a broken access control or broken authentication. So over here, attackers, what they are going to do, they are going to exploit the vulnerability to identify or to authenticate. Okay, such as your exposed account. If I'm getting a session ID, session logout details, so straight away I can take an advantage of it. Password exploitation, again, best example of this. Okay. Then we have software and data integrity failure. Now, software and data integrity failure means fail to update that application. If we don't update that application or that software to the latest version, or we don't patch that application, attacker can take an advantage of it by sending a plugin. Okay. Or when the application has been installed from a public repositories, during that time, attacker, what he is going to do, he is going to attach a malware. If we try to download the application from a third party, don't download any application from a third party. Download only from a trusted website, from a legitimate website. Okay. If you try to download it from a third party, highly liable that you can the attacker or your device is been vulnerable to this security and data integrity failure, because you are downloading the malicious code as well along with that application. Next we have is your security logging and monitoring failure. So a web application maintains certain logs or the track or the pattern, such as your user admin login credential. Okay. So attacker, what they are going to do, they are going to first they are going to send an multiple request to the application. Along with that, one malicious request is also been sent. Okay. If your database has been vulnerable, straight away attacker will be having an access to it. Okay, attacker usually inject or delete or tamper the web application or the log in order to generally engage all this engage into the malicious activity. Okay, he will try to hide his identity, apt. Okay, that is your secure logging and monitoring failure. Last we have is your server side request forgery. Okay, your organization is using a firewall in between. Now to access the database, attacker try to access the database, but in between there is a firewall. So firewall will be blocking all the requests. So attacker, what he will be doing, he will try to search, is there any publicly web server available? If yes, let's try to craft a request along with the vulnerable request. And from that public web server, the request has been forwarded to the database. Now, when the database is acknowledging this request, giving back or giving a respond back to the web server, that data will be sent back to the attacker, and attacker will be straight away having an access to the database. That is your server side request forgery. Okay, only from a trusted one. So first try to identify whether the website is a legitimate one or not, is a secured one or not. How we can do that? By checking this log sign. Okay, maintaining a certificate, that means this website is secured one. Along with that, let's say if I want to download on WhatsApp, so straight away I will be downloading it from an WhatsApp website. He is going to maintain a security. Whatever details you are providing, that details is going into an encrypted format, not into a plain text format. Okay, a cryptography has been used, algorithm has been used. If you see, you will be getting the details of it as well. So fingerprint, along with that authority information. So this is your certificate authority who has issued a certificate to this website. Okay, not only that, the public key details will also be here only. Here is your public key, and when we claim for the certificate, during that time a private key is also been assigned. Okay, that is maintaining the security. That private, along with that, the certificate body is going to give an along with the certificate going to give an private key as well. Okay, so public key you will be getting easily, but not a private key. So when we start with an cryptography, there is a topic about an cryptography. In that we are going to discuss about the certificate as well. Okay, how to get the certificate, who is doing an verification of this particular website, or that particular owner who is claiming for the certificate, and how it is being maintained. Not only that, if there is any flaw, can we hide any information behind any of the file, that is also we are going to understand. What are algorithms are available. Okay, and as of now, which algorithm or which encryption pattern we are using. So everything will be discussed into that, into in cryptography. So first of all, don't download any application from an untrusted website. That is what I'm saying. Download only from a trusted website, trusted source. Trusted source as in from the legitimate website, from an app store. Okay, or if you are trying to download it for an web, for the devices, only again download it from an legitimate website, directly from a Facebook website. If you are downloading it from a third party, highly risk area. If someone is taking an advantage of your device will start lagging. Okay, if you are opening any application, it will take time because a malware is is been installed into your device. Okay, you will see some particular the functions is not working correctly, or many a times user does not identify this as well. So if anyone is trying to download anything from a third party website, straight away that website will get blocked. Okay, you cannot have an access to such kind of a website. There are limitations inside an organization again. What to be downloaded, what not to be downloaded. Even if you want to install any application, you have to raise a request to an admin team, and that admin team is going to install the application into your device because you are not having the root level access, isn't it? Okay, so what we are doing, we are adding an extra layer of insecurity. Okay, and we cannot say with that we are 100% secure. No, never. Budget of my organization is, let's say, $10, $100, $10,000. I cannot say I am 100% safe and secure. If I'm building an house, my house is still vulnerable. So in order to secure it, or in order to safeguard it from burglars and theft, what I will be doing, I will be adding a door. Again, I cannot say it's 100% safe. Additional layer of security I will be adding, a lock. Again, highly risk area. Additional layer of unsecurity. What I will be doing this time, I'm installing a CCTV camera to monitor. Now also I cannot say it's 100% safe and secure. Additional layer of security, offense has been added. Still now anyone can come inside and temper and get inside this particular building. Additional layer of security, a physical guard has been sitting now. So what I'm doing, I'm simply adding the controls, isn't it?
Mhm.
Similarly, for an organization as well, we say add the controls to narrow down the possibilities. So generally there are four different types of an injection, major type of an injection attack. Okay, so first is your SQL injection, second is your command injection, LDAP injection, XML injection. Okay, and now we have introduced the cross-site scripting as well inside the injection. Okay, so itself SQL injection is it's a big topic, so we will be having we will be getting an overview in order to understand how the attack has been done. Okay, so what I've done, I have divided this attack into 5 steps to understand in a better way. Okay, so let's say if I want to perform an attack. To perform any attack, any web application attack, there are certain conditions for it. So to perform an injection attack, first is if we are meeting the condition, then only I can proceed with an attack. If not, I cannot do the attack. Okay. Now what is the condition? Condition is variable equals to number. Inside in the URL, if I see variable equals to number, that means high possibility area. We can perform an attack in this website. Okay, or we can try to identify if this website is vulnerable or not, if this page is vulnerable or not, can we get inside the database or not. Okay, so what I will be doing, I will be simply performing an attack into this website. Okay, in order to identify in order to get an access to the database. Okay, now what I said, condition. If my condition has been meeting, then only I can perform the attack. And where I will be performing the attack, what will be my playground? This URL page, this particular where we are putting the URL. This will be my playground. Okay. Condition variable equals to number. Have a look onto this URL. What do we have at the end? Show profile equals to 4. Variable equals to number. Okay. If you are getting this, that means we can initiate our attack. Conditions have been met. Now let's go with that attack. So step by step approach. So step number 1, what the step number has been 1 has been saying, break the developer code. Okay. So break the developer code means whenever developers is writing a code or building a website, okay, so whenever the developer is building a website, so whatever the URL has been running, so this is my URL. The URL has been running in between this code. This code is not visible to us. Okay. This is what happening at the back end. Okay. Now what we have to do, this double quote is maintaining this double quote. When we open a bracket, that bracket need to be closed as well. So it's something like that only. So there is a double quote maintaining this double quote. So what we have to do, we have to unbalance this query. We have to create an error onto the page. We have to break this developer code. Now how we are going to break this developer code? By simply adding a single quote at the end. So we don't have this balancing query. Single quote is not been balanced anywhere. So let's unbalance the page. Let's create an error onto the page. Now again, one thing, very important thing, always remember, whenever whenever you perform an attack or you get an error, errors are your best friend. You will be getting the information from an errors. Okay, so let's try to break the developer code, create an error. What we are getting? Just read this thing. What he's trying to say. Are we getting any information? You have an error into your SQL syntax. Check that manual that correspond to your MySQL server version for the right syntax to be used for at the line 1. When we initiated the attack, are we aware that MySQL server is being used, the version of the database which is being used at the backend is your MySQL. Are we having that information? Okay, you had created an error onto the web page. What you have to do, you have to bring the page back. You need to balance the particular developer code. Okay, now different vendors will be having a different commenting vector. How we are going to balance the query with the help of a commenting vector? Okay, in Linux we use hash to comment. Have anyone used C++? So when it comes to a database, we have different commenting vector, which simply means different database have different schemes, which has been specified. Okay, so commenting vectors for MySQL, the commenting vector is hash. Okay, for MS SQL, the commenting vector Microsoft SQL Server, the commenting vector is hyphen hyphen. For Oracle, the commenting vector is again hyphen hyphen. Apart from this, we have custom commenting vector, which is your hyphen hyphen space hyphen 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 plus hyphen 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 slash hyphen. So these are what? These are your custom commenting vector. You can get all this vector from the website as well. Okay. Now, in this case, in my case, what database has been used?
Yeah.
If there is if this condition has been meeting, then we can initiate the attack. Let's say organization has been saying, go and perform a pen test for us. And apart from that, no additional information will be given. So what I will be doing, first I will be checking for the conditions. In what scenario my conditions have been meeting. So I can perform an attack. I can I will be testing their controls. Okay. To perform an SQL
Mm.
injection, we have in condition variable equals to number. Already the website is also, this particular web page has been showing variable equals to number. If I visit any other page, variable equals to number. Okay. So what I can do, I
Mm.
can initiate the attack. I'm not perform the attack as of now. I'm simply identifying it. Okay. So first what we did, we break the developer code. We try to break the developer code. And from that developer code, again, we got an information that this website is using MySQL server. Now I have
Yes.
little information. I'm still gathering the information. Information gathering has been done now. Once I have that information, I'm creating a space. So this hash is what? In between 4 and hash, a space has been created. So whatever query I want to place, I will be placing that query in between this. Straight away, if I write anything over here, let's say, give me the name of the database. Let's call out for that function. It won't be able to read it. Okay. So I will be required a space in between where I can put all this query. So this is what the space. This is how we create the space with the help of in commenting vectors. Okay. Now how your database has been structured? Database has been structured in the format of an rows and column. Okay. So there are rows and there are columns. Now, what my condition number 3 has been saying, find the number of columns. How many total numbers of columns are there inside this database? That we need to identify now in total. So after that, we can take an advantage of an vulnerable column. Okay. So for this, we use two different, we go with two different ways. Okay. So what do we have? We have two queries. One is your order by and second one is your group by. Order by is what? To arrange a particular, arrange the particular thing in an order from an ascending order to an descending order or to an descending order to an ascending order. Okay. And next we have is your group by. Group by is what? Specifying the format. Okay. So let's say we have a garden. In that garden, we have different trees, a banana tree, a mango tree, orange tree. So what we are doing, we will be grouping it together. So there are 10 banana tree altogether. There are 20 mango tree in together, and there are 30 orange tree in together. So what we have done, we had grouped them. We have categorized them. Similarly, in order to categorize the value inside the database, we go with a group by. So we have two functions, order by and group by. And generally, to perform the attack, we go with an group by value, order by value, order by. Okay. After that, it will be a guessing work to find out how many exact number of columns are there. Okay. So I don't know how many columns are there inside this database. So how my query will be order by followed by a guesswork. So I am guessing there are 100 columns. Getting another? Okay. Now, what I will be doing, I will try to see until I will try to go by that number till that number until unless I get my page back. Okay. So 100 means there are no 100 columns. Similarly, I will be going with each and every number in order to get our page back, in order to find out how many total number of columns are there in this database. Okay, 100 means no 100 column. Let's go with 5. Getting an error. Okay, so there are no one column as well. So at this point of time, what I can do, I can go with a custom commenting vector. So with this commenting vector, I'm not getting information. So let's go with a custom commenting vector. Okay. So any commenting vector you can go for. Hyphen, hyphen, space, hyphen, I'm going with this. I'm getting my page back, isn't it? So which means the minimum one column is there. Okay. So in total, how many columns are there? Minimum one. What is the maximum? Let's go by that number. I'm guessing 5. Error, unknown column. That means in between 1 and 5. Let me go with 2. Getting my page back in between 2 and 5. Let's go by 3. Getting our page back. That means in between 3 and 5. What is an exact value? 4. Getting our page back. That means how many columns are there in total? With step number 4. Now what my step number 4 has been saying, find a vulnerable column now. Out of this 4, which one is your vulnerable column? Okay, so we need to figure it out now. That is our next job. Okay, now in our existing table, what do we have? We have rows and column. Okay, so we can use a query by the name of a union. Which one is an additional one? Okay, this query is used for an existing table. Okay, apart from that, you can use the select statement as well, that how many columns are there in total. Let me go with let me do by select. So the query will be union select, and we will be calling each and every column. Why so? Let's say this is our database. There are columns inside this. Okay, now I visited an InfosecTrain website. I added a course in my account. Okay, now I'm making a payment of that course. Okay, making a payment, that means request has been made. First column is been allocated. Okay, now while doing a transaction, in between my network fails. Transaction is not been completed. No information has been stored, or half information has been stored. So this column will be left as a blank column. Next time when the connection is up and running, network is up and running, again I am processing the same step, making a payment, making a transaction. This time the second column will be allocated and the transaction completed. Okay, so your complete information will be stored in this column. So what we need to identify, what the attacker will be try to identify over here, find a vulnerable column. This will be the vulnerable column for him. He will be searching for this such kind of a blank space. In this database, is there any blank space? If yes, let's take an advantage of that blank space. Same thing we are going to do. We are going to search for the blank space inside the database. How we are going to do that? With a function by the name of an union select. and call out for each and every column. First, second, third, fourth. Okay. So if one value is for in first column, second value is for in second column, third value is for in third column, and fourth value is for in fourth column. So let's try to use this now. So what I'm getting the same page. Okay. So what happened over here? The default, when it says something show profile equals to 4, okay, which means with that this is been pointed to the row. Okay, and it is showing me the content of that row. So what I will be doing, I will be try to make out, or I will try to get all the information, all the vulnerable information in this page. How that will be done? I will be doing a filtration. So we know there is no database, or in database we don't have the value -4. The database will never start with this minus sign. Okay, so let's try to filter this out. Is anything has been changed with this minus value? You can play around with this. If you are not getting an information straight away with this 4 value, so you can go with minus sign, we can go with the decimal sign as well, because as we know database will never start with such kind of a value. With minus sign, with decimal sign, 0.1, 0.4, it always starts with 1 to the number of the columns, what is there inside the database. Okay, so you can play around with this value. Now, if anything has been changed in this page, now let's try to see if this value, because I am providing 1, 2, 3 over here, if these values have been changing or not. So if first column is vulnerable, it will give me a value of 111. If second one is vulnerable, it will give me the value of 222. If third is vulnerable, it will give me the value of 333. If fourth is vulnerable, it will give me the value of 444. 3 columns are vulnerable because I am getting the 3 values onto my screen. 111, 222, and 333, not of an 444. That means fourth column is not vulnerable. Okay. Now let's try to exploit this vulnerable column. Okay. Exploiting the vulnerable column means getting an information out of that column. Okay. So we have a function inside the database. So we can call out for that function. Let's say if I want to know the version of the database, so simply what I can do, I can replace the column number with version. I will be calling out for the version. I will be calling out for the database to know what is the name of the database, what user ID is there inside this database, such kind of a thing. Okay, so let's say give me the version detail from first column, give me the user detail from second column, and give me the database detail. When we create such website, when we build this website, when we build any of the website, so we have that developer is having that credibility, that authority, that for what column what security has been provided. So now over here the fourth column is not utilized. What I can see, what I can understand, isn't it? I can see there are 3 functions: user ID, username, and age. There is no fourth function available. This is from my perspective, what I think. How the website has been built, we don't have that information. What has been used in the website, we don't have that information as well. But when I'm trying to run this per tag, okay, when I try to call out the function or try to find out which one is invulnerable, I'm getting 3 functions. I'm getting 3 values, not the fourth value, because we don't have that space available where to be displayed. We don't have that information as well, where the we don't have that particular box as well where the information has been stored. Might be fourth column is storing some other information which is not getting displayed over here. That will be also a scenario. That can be also a possibility. Now further to that, by doing and more enumeration, we can get out that also. We can easily find out the details as well. Okay, so in that case we can use a burp suite. We can run the burp suite. Again, a professional burp suite has been required, which is going to run such all the other attack as well, such as your LDAP injection attack. So in order to find out what more vulnerabilities we can identify from this website. If this website is vulnerable to SQL injection that we can get inside the database, apart from that, what are the different methods as well? This is one method which I am showing. So we have different methods, different types to perform the similar attack. Order by, I'm asking him to give me in particular order. Give me the information in an order format. Union select. Okay, we are calling for each and every function, each and every column. To call out for each and every column, we go with an union select command. Inside a database, I want to call each, there are 4 columns, I want to call every column. Column number 1, column number 2, column number 3. Roll number 1 present. If yes, give me the response back. Roll number 2 present. If yes, give me the response back. This is the same thing. We are calling for each and every column. Okay, and from that column, if we are getting a reply back, that means it's a vulnerable one. We are getting the information. That is our main agenda. And step number 4, that only we are doing. We are first finding the columns. Total number. Step number 3, how many columns are there? 50, 40, 100, 200. Okay, database will never be having 200 columns. Have you seen any database? Or when you make an Excel sheet, do you make 200 columns? We don't. We never, isn't it? There are limitation of it. We are storing that information. Database, what database has been doing is storing the information in a particular format or manner. So easily when we want to see the information that can be collected, HR is maintaining a database of an employee. So in that, what information, what additional, what all things he is mentioning? Employee name, employee number, employee address. Okay, his designation, employee ID, his address, and particular what you can say his salary details. Apart from that, will he be storing any additional, any other information? Yes, which is not related to that work. Again, a limitation has been set, isn't it? Only that information which is being utilized, which is very much important for them. Okay. Similarly, when there is a database is also having a set of details. So whenever we want to fetch out those details, easily that details can be collected. Okay. So it's not like that we will be having almost 100 200 columns in the database. It's never. If it is, then process is the same again. We have to call for it because we need to identify which one is a vulnerable column. So by default, we have to call each and every column. Once we have that information, so straight away call for that function. From that particular vulnerable column, call for the function. Now, let me show you one more type. Okay. This time I'm going to perform an attack over here. Okay. So what is my step number 1? Yes, conditions have been meeting, variable equals to number. Now to perform an attack, we'll go with a step by step. So step number 1 has been saying break the developer code. Order by, let's say I'm guessing 10 columns. Errors, 5 columns, still error. 4. Okay. Now what is my step number 4? We are not getting our page, and in that page we are not getting our response back. Okay. Now what I said, errors are your best friend. Okay. This page is not processing the union. Developer is very much smart over here. So what he did, anyone tries to perform a union select query or anyone tried to run this union select query, block it. So in this union, my on is getting blocked. He's not able to read this full syntax. He is only able to read the uni syntax. Okay. Now at this point of time, what will be my first guess? My first guess will be I will be putting multiple on. Why so? If my one on is getting blocked, second on will get processed. Okay, something like this. UNION. If one on is getting blocked, he will try to read this on. If two on is getting blocked, he will try to read the third one. Similarly, we can give it a try. Okay, we can go for each and every combination. So let me try with multiple on. Okay, so one on is getting blocked over here and I'm getting my page back now, isn't it? Okay. Now after this, what is our next step? Okay, filter out the event to find out the more details of it. So simply put an minus value over here. What we are getting, 1, 2 and 3. How many columns are vulnerable now? 1, 2 and 3 has been vulnerable or not. So putting multiple 1, multiple 2, multiple 3 and multiple 4. So double 1, double 2, double 3. Now let's call out for the details from those vulnerable columns. So give me the database name. So this is what another type. Similarly, we can perform the attack in different type. Okay. So developer, what he can do, he can block any of the state. So many a times what we have seen, developer is blocking your commenting vectors as well. Okay. Commenting vector as in this hash hyphen hyphen also. So in that case, we can go with a custom commenting vector. Many a time developer, what he does, he block the union option as well. Okay, so in that case, we can go or we can go with any other or we can try any other possibilities as well. Many a times when we try to break the developer code, again that is not visible onto the screen. Don't meet the condition first. If someone is trying to break the developer code, don't allow him. Block that request. Someone is trying to put a single quote, can we block that request? While
Yeah.
building a website, we can simply write a code. Similarly, what developer has done over here, he has blocked the on. Okay, so
Yeah.
like that, can I block this single quote as well? If someone is
Yeah.
trying to balance the query, if commenting vector can be blocked, the custom commenting vector can also be blocked. Straight away block the first step. So these are what? Again, a step-by-step approach. I cannot jump directly onto the step number 3 until and unless my step number 1 and 2 has been done, isn't it?
Right.
This is the process of it. So I can block this thing, all this thing. I can block the whole attack as well. Someone is trying to perform an injection attack, what he will be doing, he will be checking for the conditions. Then don't give that condition. Secure that URL straight away. Don't disclose much information onto the URL. That also can be done. Okay. We have secure coding nowadays. Okay. For that also there are multiple other codes. The certification has also been arrived into the market for secure coding in order to go over this in order to use the cryptography or you can say hashing into while we are writing the code, whatever details have been traveling go into a secure format. What security, what particular algorithm to be used, that we can add it over there.
Mm.
It does testing. Is there any particular findings or is there any vulnerabilities that can be fixed later on? Okay. So we have many other websites as well. So try hack me again over there also you can perform. We have multiple machines as well in order to do this such kind of an attack. So these are the list of vulnerability. Okay. If out of this, if there is any possible chances, your website or your particular, you can say the server is vulnerable to any of this list, that attack can be done. Cryptographic failure. What that cryptographic failure has been saying? Unsecured code has been used. Insecure design. Perform an attack. If there is any particular vulnerability into your APIs, okay, identify it. So attacker, what they are doing, they are first identifying the things. What type of an attack can be done? Try every possibilities. Try every particular list of let's give it a try to each and every attack. Okay, some are attacks can be done from an client side. Some attacks can be done from an server sides. Okay, SQL injection is a type of an attack which is done onto the server. There are some attacks which has been done onto the client side as well.